Today we're going to show the completed booklet. That's what I've got us down for. So who'd like to start?
I can show mine.
And there's Joshua.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Yay. So I changed the cover. Yeah. I'm actually super proud of my book because I changed some stuff and I actually like now. So yeah.
You actually like it.
Yeah, I think it's
that
so
wasn't
cute.
part of the requirements.
Oh really? Oh no. But I like a lot, so don't hurt my feelings. Just kidding.
I'm just teasing.
So here's my cover. This page is still pretty much the same. I like the way it is, and then I change here. Now we have the G from Gil Sam's. And I changed. It was kind of hard.
Could you go back a second?
For sure.
Table of contents. And if you click the table of contents, does it take you to the page? Or
no, it is supposed to.
Well,
Uh-oh.
Well, it would be nice to have the page numbers anyway with
Oh, wait, you mean, I don't understand. You want me to have the page number here?
with like, you know, so you have history is the first thing and then the designer and so on.
Oh,
it'd be good to have a page number with it.
Yeah, I didn't add, but I can do that today. Can we still submit the book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Louisa, the dot is not even.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I can fix it. We can still submit. I can just delete this part right here.
Look better.
Yeah. Little details. And then I changed because you told me that the ear, it was just like looking weird. So I just decided to keep it like that.
Okay, that's a better solution.
Yeah. Then we have the designer's page. So because I add many circles, I feel like it was good to just, like, you know, add some little details just for we don't have the circles on top. Like these ones right here, like just like, you know, oh, we have circles, but we need to add some more elements in the book. Okay. This one, I only changed what you told me here because it wasn't looking good, like something was actually looking weird in the page. I fixed I double checked the spell check. And then my last page, I don't know why there's this line. This line actually doesn't exist. I feel it's just because something is going wrong with my InDesign. Yeah, and then here's the quote page. And the end of my book.
Okay.
Yay.
And it's done.
It's done. Yeah.
Who said first concept then design? Who said first concept then design?
Actually, I just found the quote like that. It was just like randomly I found it and I think it was interesting. There is no one. This was like anonymous. When I was, yeah.
Louisa, I think the page number is not exactly correct, even though we are deciding 20 pages. But I remember the professor tell us the first to the 4 or 5 page is not list because it's C1, 2, 3.
Wait,
So
let
the
me.
page number I think is only show 13 because the cover and the back cover should not show any number.
What do you mean? Like this one doesn't show any number.
Right, keep going. She was talking about the last inside page.
Yeah, you should have a 2 master page to do that, I remember.
Here, just scroll it down to,
So it means like the book is
right,
wrong.
Just the page number.
here, go back towards the top.
Okay.
Okay, so go to the properties palette or the pages palette, which is,
Let me just change the view.
no, go to window and go to pages and let go. There we go.
So we were supposed to have 2 master pages.
Okay, so scroll up to the top.
Uh-huh.
So we had a, let's see. Were you in class when we repaginated this?
Yeah.
When we changed the pages? Okay, but it doesn't seem to have happened because you're still, cover is 1 instead of C1. Cover 2 is 2 instead of C2. And then
Or I can after class I can send you the link and then you can watch the recording and then it show how to do the C page.
But like for do that, it's actually on the master page, no?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's actually done in the pages palette, by selecting the page and then going up to layout. So I click on page 1. I'm going to start this anyway. Click on page 1. Now go to layout at the top of your screen. And go down to numbering and section options. And so page numbering section prefix would be C. And then check on include prefix with when numbering pages and click OK. So now everything is up until 06. So anyway, then you'd click on page 3. And then go to layout, numbering and section options, and start page numbering at 1. Turn that on and then go to style.
Style.
Or just move it. No, the one above it, that one. Change that to lowercase Roman numerals.
Lowercase.
Yeah, no, click on that and go all the way to the bottom. Yeah, like that. Click OK. And that's the start of it. And then she's going to send you the video for managing the rest of it.
Oh,
Right now,
okay.
you've got your page numbering starting on
4.
yeah, see, click on 4.
I think I need to go to the master page now.
Just click on page 4 and then go to layout, numbering and section options, and turn on uncheck start section at the beginning, at the top there. Click OK. And then I think you can use the video from there on
Okay.
out.
Yeah, I will check right now. I mean, not right now, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Louis. I just want you to get a higher.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, I didn't. I think I just misunderstand.
Okay. And then once you've got it renumbered, then you'd want to add a page numbers onto your table of contents so people know which page to go to.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jelly.
Sure, looks good though.
Thank you.
Okay. Who'd like to be next? Brody, would you like to go next? Is Brody still there?
I can go ahead.
And that's Brian. Okay.
All right. This is it. This is the book. So here we go.
That's interesting.
The hyperlinks do work, by the way.
All right. On the table of contents,
Yeah.
that probably should be justified rather than centered,
Okay.
so that they line up on the left and the right.
Okay.
Yep, wait a second, a little slower. Okay. Why the underlines on the left page?
I couldn't really tell you, to be honest. I just felt like that's something I needed to do. I had it on the right side too, but I got rid of them because they were all on the left side. So I was like, let me just keep them on the left and then just not have any underlines on the right page, on the 5th page.
Mhm. Okay. That's interesting.
What's interesting about it
Oh,
too?
it's just the way you've got the pages with the black borders on them so that it looks like the pages are offset.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's kind of neat.
Oh, thank you.
You're expecting the opposite, right? No, don't do that.
There we go. So yeah, I really like the picture down here.
Mhm.
They're just so close and intimate, you know. They're just right there and they're just staring at you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's Tom Grace and then Akira Kobayashi,
Mhm.
responsible for Trade Gothic Next.
Mhm. Mm. And then why the green?
I wanted to, because I had green at the beginning,
Oh, okay.
and so
you
I wanted to have some sort of consistency.
Mhm.
And then yeah, the back cover.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the Pangram page looks kind of odd because I don't think you've used screens anywhere else.
You're talking about the blue?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I
Lighter
did,
blue.
but it wasn't blue. I used different colors.
Okay. You want to just walk me through it again real quick because apparently I didn't.
Is
So.
that right here on the glyphs?
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think we might have skipped this page.
Okay.
And then right here,
Oh, okay.
and then I think yeah, up here on the red, and then here on the left,
Mm-hmm.
and then on both pages.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. We'd like to go next.
I can go. Oh, I much because it's not much to fix.
Yeah, the first page appears bigger unless if there's only a single page.
Wait. The number when I click this is a PDF, so when I click this number or the letter can go to the page.
Okay. All right.
I changed it here because you said it's more balanced, right? Last time.
Well, I kind of like what you had before, but this works. It was just more interesting when one side was higher than the other. I was just thinking it needed to line up.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. looks good.
That's it.
Okay. Very nice.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Joshua, do you have, is your booklet ready? Joshua, you're muted if you're still there. One. Are you there? It's an interesting class. Let's see. Anika?
Yeah, I can share.
Okay. I'm just glad you're responding.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Oh, a little slower.
Oh, sorry.
So why the escalator?
To be honest, I have no idea. I just thought it looked cool.
Okay. I thought it was him working his way up.
You know, you can think of it like that. Yes.
The response should be yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Okay. It's a little weird the way the dashes keep changing weight.
Yeah, I wanted to add just variety in them, but I can see why it may be like I don't know, I guess confusing.
And the lines on the 2006 kind of add a sort of, I don't know, Dracula look to it. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's pretty. Okay. That's nice. Clean. Okay. Wait a sec. Could you go back a second? So as the font gets italicized, bolder, and more condensed, the X height gets larger. So that wouldn't make the ascenders and descenders longer. It would actually make them shorter. Unless the ascenders and descenders extend up above the cap height more.
They do. So
Okay.
so this is like a capital K, the example above. and then it's a lowercase k, and the ascender is higher than the capital K.
Okay.
And so I showed that with each of these other letters. So like L and F and D and H, they all have lowercase letters
Okay.
that are higher than the capital.
Great. Okay. All right. And that's the back cover.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Now, how are your page numbers?
Wait, my page numbers?
Yeah, how are your page numbers? Were they set up
Hold on.
correctly?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Hold on.
Let's see.
Okay, so I started with number 1 here. And then
So that should be I, and that should be I. And
Oh,
then
they can't
after
be.
that, it starts.
Wait,
as,
can they not be like 1, 2, 3?
Generally, we switch over. Let's see, at the beginning, it's lowercase letters, and then after, when the text actually starts, that's when it becomes regular Arabic numerals.
Oh, okay. Well, I did actual numbers. Just 1, 2, 3 numbers, and then all the way to 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had those 2 pages with no numbers.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. Brody, do you want to show yours?
Yeah, I can show mine. Is it showing up for you guys?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So this is the front cover and the back cover. I put them both on a spread because I figured if we were to go to print or whatever, that would be where it would be positioned.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is the inside cover. And then here's the table of contents. And here's the history page. And then this is the designer page.
All right. And we don't actually have page numbers.
Yeah, I realized that once you were telling everybody about the page numbers. Yeah, I don't have any. And then this is the alphabet page.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the glyphs page.
I guess when I was looking at your design, there was so much going on that I didn't notice the page numbers weren't there. And I guess there was so much going on, you didn't notice the page numbers weren't there.
Yeah, I didn't get notice it either. This one's actually not showing up the right way. This little yellow bar is not supposed to be a yellow bar. So I don't know what's going on there, but I guess we'll say it is right for right now. Yeah, so this is the key elements page.
You shouldn't have said anything. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I don't. It's supposed to be like this effect right
Oh,
here.
right. Yeah.
It's supposed to be that effect, but in yellow, and I don't know why it's not showing up like that.
Mhm.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah,
You probably just had it selected.
something like that. Here's the X height spread. And then lastly is my, I call it yellow pages, but really it's like just an example of what it looks like printed. Because the whole reason why they gave it so many ink traps and such deep ink traps is so that it would look readable when it was printed. So I figured I'd show that. And then I have the little ring page.
Be a real pain, but in fact, that wouldn't be the yellow pages. That in fact would be the white pages, because they had a white directory for
People's names and
people,
stuff?
and then the yellow directory for businesses.
I was hoping you would not notice that.
Of course, I'm old enough that I notice these things.
Yeah, yeah. You got me there.
I got you.
But yeah, this is what
Okay.
it looks like.
All right. And the way you've got it set up, it would probably actually, well, okay. All right. Is Juan or Joshua back in? Don't seem to be.
I'm still working on mine.
Okay. Do you want to show where it is, or?
Sure. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And that's all I have. Still need to work on it.
All right. When do you think you're going to have it done?
Probably tomorrow at the
Okay.
latest.
All right. Okay. Some nice books there. So then we have the final type poster. So let's see, Louisa, do you want to show your type poster?
Sure. I'm a little scared, but I can.
Hmm?
I'm a little scared, but I can.
Okay, your type rule poster.
Yeah. Okay. I was very happy doing my poster, but then I figured out that we need to create our own typeface, like another one,
No, you
right?
don't. You don't have to do that.
Ah, Professor, I think I'm going crazy.
It's okay.
Okay, so here are my posters. So I have this one about the, the typeface.
Mhm.
This is a traditional, humanistic, and then we have this one. I cannot look for too long, but I finally found, yeah, I finally found the font for, the guide of the hitch. I don't know how to say, yeah,
Checker's guide, yeah.
but I finally found it, and I mean, I love this poster. I think it looks interesting.
Mhm.
And then I didn't know, but I created another one. And
Well, that's a really good typeface.
thank you.
Very consistent.
Yeah, better than the other one. Yeah, so here are my posters. I just cannot stare for too long because it always gives me a headache.
Okay. Uh, and I like the green poster, except that the typefaces are all wrong.
Yeah, it is
Is
supposed
that
to.
deliberate?
I mean,
Oh
I love
man, you're gonna
glasses.
confuse everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that's the point, right?
I don't know. That seems dangerous to be confusing people about that.
It's
I'll
like
have a
you told
bunch of
me.
students. I'll have a bunch of students who are then confused.
I mean, that was pretty much me in the beginning of the semester. I was so confused. Yeah, so these
I
are what.
If you're gonna do that, then I would I'd have some sort of note on there somewhere that explains that it's a joke.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
otherwise
oh,
somebody's gonna look at that and it's the kind of joke where it's it's an insider's joke, but for the poor student who's just trying to learn this stuff. Oh no. Okay.
I mean, it's fine, right? If I want to submit both of them or no.
Yeah, you can submit both of them.
Okay.
One other thing. So for everybody, if you could grab like the top left corner of the green background. So click on that background with your, and drag that corner all the way out to the red mark.
Oh, because of the,
The bleed.
yeah.
And you'd want to do that with your other one too.
Okay.
But don't look too carefully or it'll blind you.
Yeah, like it's already giving me a headache. I cannot even see the red line.
Yep,
I think it's right.
make you colorblind.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Louisa.
Thank you, Professor.
Let's see. Anika, you want to show your poster?
Yeah, I can.
That's only almost funny in its own way, having the little red box with the plus. Because you've gotten the text too close to the edge of the text box.
Oh yeah.
But you'd have to create that little box with the plus to actually have it there, because that wouldn't print. That's kind of the ultimate type joke. Okay. It's pretty.
Thank you.
And those are clouds.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're more of a geometric style type of cloud.
Mm-hmm. Is there, I think there's a preview function under view. Presentation mode. Yeah. Yes, is that what you want your, how do you want your clouds to look?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to give the illusion that you're on a cliff.
Okay. All
You're
right,
high up.
it's looking good. I like the font you've chosen. Is that a font you designed?
No.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Hmm.
So it looks like that's well on its way to done. Brody?
My Photoshop is actually still opening, so if you just give me a couple more minutes, I'll show
Okay.
it. Appreciate it.
Brian? Brian, do you have anything? Something to show? Brian, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't really been working on this. I've mostly been focused on the book.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's smart.
So I've just been experimenting with the checkers. I don't really like it though, so I'm probably gonna figure something else out.
Oh, okay. All
I'm
right.
trying to make use of the white space.
Yeah. And you're using it to fill with a checkerboard?
Well, I was just testing that out first.
Yeah.
But yeah, for right now, yeah.
Okay. All right. Jaylee?
1 second. Let me share.
Okay.
Can you see now?
Mm-hmm.
Chaos.
Lots and lots of chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make another one.
Yeah. Ooh.
I learned some grid is called Fibonacci grid. Sounds
A
fancy.
Fibonacci grid.
Yeah, and then I just try to do the grid myself, and then not sure if how to do it, but I hope it's right. I don't know.
I think that looks great.
Thank you. Which one you prefer, or I submit both?
Could you show the other one again? Well, I think they both have their charms, but I think I kind of like the other one, the grid one.
This one.
I think there's a sort of a more simplicity going on with this one.
Okay.
I think the only thing is that that black bar at the top left is, I might think that it ought to be maybe just the width of the stroke of the W.
Yeah, I hope so, but I might need to rearrange the grid.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's actually defined by a grid. That's why you.
Yeah, I
Oh,
actually
okay.
changed the current. Is it called current?
Mm-hmm.
Kerning for
Yeah.
work.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, if it's part of the grid, then I bow to the grid.
Really? So which grid should work better in the future? I kind of
Well,
want to learn how to make grid because it's very helpful.
yeah. I think you're good.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking it was on a grid because I can't see the grid. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
sure. And then Brody.
My computer still hasn't loaded it up, unfortunately, man.
Is okay.
Yeah, I my computer's about 7 years old, so it goes about as slow as a snail sometimes. But I do have it. I can't show it yet. So just a couple more minutes and I can show it.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
sure. Is Joshua or John or Juan there now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to show your booklet or your poster or both?
I already showed my booklet.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's what I have for my poster.
Okay.
I also did another one, but I don't know how I feel about it.
It's interesting, but I don't think it's as good as the other one.
Yeah, I like the first one better.
Okay. It's clearer. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else you want to learn today?
I kind of want to learn how to, because when we choosing different type of font, and the combination is kind of hard to arrange.
You mean it's hard to pick font?
Yeah, how to match which one is the best with another
Well,
one, and then how to the composition, how to arrange.
mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's see. So there's a couple of things I can talk about. Give me a second. So we have this little presentation, and if we go a little bit farther into it, so there are no hard and fast rules in typography, which is one of the problems with teaching it. But one of the things that you could do, particularly when you're just starting out working with fonts, is to kind of limit the number of fonts that you're using in any given project. If you just can stick to a few, just a few different fonts, generally your projects are going to look a little bit more professional. Also, on the other side of it, if you use a lot of different fonts, it adds a lot to the amount of work that you have to do. So picking a lot of different fonts, keeping track of how you're using them, and using them all consistently, kind of multiplies the number of tasks that you have to deal with. So when you're just starting out working with fonts, it's a good idea on your design projects to use either one font family and its various weights and styles, or use two contrasting font families. For instance, a serif font and a sans serif font, or a serif font and a script font, or a script font and a sans serif font, or something like that. Something that has, that there's a lot of difference between the fonts, so that people aren't, one of the mistakes that students make is to use, say, for instance, two really similar serif fonts, and it doesn't create a lot of difference, and it tends to look like a mistake if there's not a lot of real difference between the font families. And on the outer limits of design, you might want to use 3 contrasting font families. So say a serif font, a sans serif font, and then a display face or a script face or something, again, that's completely different from everything else that you're using. And here is kind of an example of it. So the first column is just using a single font family and just using italics and bold and so on. And so that's going to all, because it's all in the same font family, that's going to go together pretty nicely, just the way it is. Second one uses 2 contrasting font families. Generally, it'll be the other way around. Generally, you're going to use a sans serif headline and then a serif body. This just reverses it, probably because I was just feeling contrary that day. But you can see how that that's a pretty simple combination. And then the third one goes to 3 contrasting font families where we've got a script headline, which looks completely different from everything else. And then we're using a sans serif for headlines and subheads, and then a serif body font. Okay. So like that. When I go and I pick fonts that to go with, if I've got a, if I'm combining a serif and a sans serif font, I try to pick fonts that have a sort of similarity to each other. So I actually don't, now that I'm looking at this, hang on. I'm actually not liking this combination so much because that O is really much more square, but the letter E kind of matches in how it looks. The letter M matches in how it looks. There are also font families where they actually have a font family that has both serif and sans serif fonts, and there's even some fonts that have serifs, sans serifs, and what they call semi-serifs. And a font like that would be like working within the same font family, only you have the option of having serifs or not having serifs. And so that might even be a better choice, where the designer has actually designed the 2 fonts, the serif and the sans serif, to work together and be part of the same family. I tend to think that if you've got a font where, say, the O's are not symmetrical, where they're kind of condensed like they are here, you probably don't want to match it against a font where the letter O is geometric. I would think that this is going to be, these are going to work less well together. And then another choice is when you mix fonts, make them really different. So pick a serif font that looks a standard serif font, but then maybe a really condensed, excuse me, a really condensed sans serif font, so that you're not really comparing things that are sort of similar. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and then what do we got here? And I don't know that this looks that bad, really. I think this looks a little bit better. These go together a little bit better than these. I don't think it's a huge problem. And then this is using super contrasting sans serif and serif. So, you know, it's kind of like this one here is kind of like, it's kind of like looking at kerning.
Yeah.
If you don't know about it, you don't notice it. If you do know about it, then maybe you notice it. You know, so there's that. The other one is, let's see, give me a second. And right. Okay. Can you see the word hierarchy?
Yes.
Okay. So hierarchy, use of position, font size, font weight, font style, color, and other elements to indicate the relative importance of elements on the page, or to direct the eye around the page in the order that you want people to read it. Any piece of visual communication that contains more than a couple of elements actually is using hierarchy, whether the designer realizes it or not. And so an example is here. If this was the type that we have for a given job, this actually has hierarchy already, because we read top to bottom, left to right. And so anything at the top is going to be considered to be more important than anything that comes later. And this is kind of a funky example, but this is from 1562. And you can see that they're actually using a certain amount of hierarchy. They're also doing some fairly funky things that we wouldn't normally do today. But we have the headline is the biggest thing on the page. The author's name is a little bit smaller. Let's see. They have the illustrators. The illustrator's name is in italic. Then they've got the date of printing and who printed it, and I think where they printed it. And so on. And so they, they've broken this up using some sort of hierarchy. And I probably should find a slightly better example. I just kind of like the fact that this was super old.
Yeah, the space is not even, and the curtain
Yes, it's
is
not.
not.
Well, you know, it's, you know, they didn't have computers back then.
Yeah.
So they had to work with little pieces of metal type. Easiest place to see hierarchies in daily newspaper. Early newspapers back in the 1800s used a very simple hierarchy. Everything was top to bottom, left to right. They would use rules or very small headlines to separate articles. So very simple. We've gotten a little bit more complex in how we design newspapers now. So there's a couple of well, there's a bunch of different ways that you could look at this page and read it. Some people would look at the photos first, in which case their eye is going to kind of go here and down there and over there. And if they find the photos interesting, then they'll go up to the headlines. Other people would read it based on the headlines, in which case they're probably going to see the masthead first. But of course, if they've seen the newspaper a billion times, they're only really kind of sensing it, and then they're moving on. And then if you're doing the size of the headlines, you start up here and move down here, and then move over here. And then you've got a couple of headlines that are more or less the same size, in which case you might read left to right, or you might read, I don't know which one you might read. The one with the bigger photo, maybe. So, and even within each article, there's actually another hierarchy, because you have the headline, you have a subhead, that's in all caps, you have a subhead that's not in all caps, and then we have the byline, which is in bold, and then it drops into the copy. And that's pretty consistently in many places, that's consistent. So headline, subhead, byline, copy, headline, byline, copy, headline, subhead, byline, copy.
I found a widow.
Sorry?
I found a widow.
You
Oh,
did.
Yeah, G.
Yes, right there. There's A. Well, you know, newspapers, they try, well, okay. And you also have this one up here, which is even worse. This is 2015. Back in the day, they would have probably sent it back to rewrite it, to fix it. I think newspapers have had smaller staffs for years, and so I think they're not as picky about that sort of thing as they used to be. However, that should not stop you from being picky about it. Here's an example of an event poster that uses hierarchy. There's a lot of different things going on. There's a lot of information that had to be packed into this. But, you know, we have the headline. We have a subheadline that further explains it. We have a little bit of information here, all nights dancing outdoors, and then more information about that. We have multiple events, some of them Tuesdays on Pier 62 and some of them Thursdays in Westlake Park. And then the actual dates and the bands and then what they play. And it's all combination of size and color and position and style and so on. But it, you know, it attempts to be consistent in its usage so that it's clear what's going on. Public service ad. So, hierarchy. Clearly the image is the most important thing here. The way this was set up, maybe the organization is the next most important thing. And then you get into the headline, feel like the whole world's against you. And then you get down into the text and some of it's bold and then some of it's not bold. And visit us online is also in bold. So another example of hierarchy. Magazine opening spread. So what would you see first when you're looking at this?
The poster.
Okay. And why would that be?
The colors, the photography,
Mhm.
all the fonts too.
Okay. And then what do you see next?
After checking the poster, I mean,
Yeah.
I see this woman's picture, Paula Scher.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you see?
After her picture, I see her name, Paula Scher.
Right. I noticed that's what you saw next. And then after that,
What is that? It's my crack. Yeah, the phrase, it's my crack.
Oh, really? I'm different.
Oh, really?
Typography, painting with words. The title.
okay.
So different.
Yeah. So as designers, we can set up what we think is a foolproof hierarchy. It doesn't mean that people are actually going to look at it that way. But we can, we can make guesses about what we think people are going to see.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that pull quote at the top.
And I go check the text.
Okay. And what you might see, you might look at this P really quickly, but then you might go down to this subhead and see, oh, they're going to talk about album covers. And then go back up here and read this. So, or you might see the P and just start reading and read the first couple of couple of lines and see if it sounds like something you're going to read.
Mm-hmm.
You also might go down and read the caption. Since you look at the photo, then you read the caption, see what it's about. There's lots of different ways this could work, but that's there's lots of attempts to get you to read the copy.
So I see a lot of magazine or newspaper when they putting down the contents, like on the page on the left. So they're using, so two edges on the left and the right is even, right? So they're I don't know what's that called, but on the tool, there's a button to choose the left, align to left, align to right, also align to center, right? But also there's one is so two side is even, so they just even the whole sentence. I don't know how to say that too, so I can't.
Justified.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But I usually have problem using that too, because I feel like my whole sentence just have a lot of space between letter, and
Right.
so I don't know how to fix that, but I saw a lot of other magazine they doing very well.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, I can show you the trick.
Okay.
So let's go to InDesign for a moment. New share. Where's InDesign? Just a second, I'm gonna have to.
Yep.
Documents. Okay, so there I've got InDesign, share. Okay, type, fill with placeholder text. So I have text like this.
Yeah.
And I justify it. So there's a bunch of different ways to justify your text. They have this ridiculous center justification. There's right justification, which, that's weird. Okay, then they have what they call full justification, which is really going to be hard on your type. So the thing is, in order to get this type text to line up on the left and on the right, they have to add space somewhere in the text in order to get it to work.
Okay.
All right, and so particularly if there are a lot of long words in a line, you'll start getting really big spaces.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay, and those are called rivers, and they can run for several lines sometimes, and they tend to look bad. And like there's a river that kind of runs through here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and just for fun, I'll indent the first. Okay. So what you can do to make it better, here, I'll just make a duplicate of this so we can look at two of them next to each other. And this is what I would refer to as a sort of a master. This is not something that an awful lot of people know about. If you go to your paragraph controls, when type in tables, paragraph. Don't really need that. Under the options, there is something called, well, let's see, you have hyphenation adjustments, but they have something called justification
Okay.
right here. Okay. And what justification does is it says that your word spacing, that in order to get this to justify, the word spacing can be anywhere from 80% of normal to 133% of normal.
Okay.
Okay. But what InDesign does is that they don't allow any letter spacing. They just set that at 0% the whole time. But if we take this and we make this, say, -5%, and we make this 5%, and we click preview, you can see that this just got a whole lot nicer. It's a whole lot more even. You can't add a lot of letter spacing or the words start getting really funky. But I find 5% is kind of unnoticeable, but look at how much I see this as kind of not very attractive, and I find this to be really kind of very nice and even.
Yeah.
So that's a power user tip.
Thank you. It's very
Is
useful.
what you'd want to do is you'd want to go back into your, when you set up a style for your body copy,
Mhm.
that you would go in and add that justification adjustment. The other thing you can also do is go to your hyphenation, and they actually allow 3 hyphens in a row. And I would turn this down so that it only allows 1 hyphen in a row. And I'd probably tell it to at least leave 3 letters before and after hyphens. And so that would probably need to be 6 letters. And click OK. And that just changed it a little. And I'm not sure that made it better. That probably made it a little bit worse. So maybe in this particular case, I only want hyphenation. Maybe I only want a hyphen limit, make it 2 hyphens in a row. So anyway. So that would be some power user tips about making your type look better. I find it odd that InDesign didn't set the preferences to allow a little bit of letter spacing, but they didn't. And so InDesign type doesn't look very good if you don't know that particular trick.
Yeah. Now I understand a little bit.
And you'll actually find that there's a lot of interesting controls in here. And there's some that I don't use that I probably should know more about using. There's something called grep styles where you can tell I think amongst other things, you could have a specific word and want to have it styled a certain way, and you could set it up so that InDesign would always style that particular word that particular way, and all kinds of crazy automation features. If you're a super power user, if you're working on a magazine and you have certain things that you need to do a lot. And let's see. So anyway, where, and Brody, were you ever able to get your computer up? Brody, are you there? Well, the other thing is that designers a lot of the time, if they don't want to deal with.
Can you hear me, Professor? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, sorry about that. My computer lagged. Yeah, my thing actually did load.
Okay. Let me just say one more thing.
Yep.
Documents set up, since I'm sort of talking about this right at the moment. 60. Okay. So justified, we have, this is all word spacing. Justified, this is word spacing plus a little bit of letter spacing. The other thing is that graphic designers a lot of the times will use type flush left, because if it's flush left, then there is no playing around with any of the spacing. It's always completely consistent. Then you just have to deal with what the what's called the rag on the right looks like, whether it's consistent, whether it looks good, whether it's attractive. So you'll find that graphic designers tend to not like justified type so much and tend to go with the rag just because the letter spacing is always nice. But then you have to just deal with what that line on the right looks like. And see, that wasn't good. And the other thing is that you might adjust a word like that. Well, let's see, this is the one I adjusted here. And you would think that would only make one small change, but it seems to make a lot of other changes. That's because Adobe has an algorithm built in that is trying to adjust these lines so that they look nicer on the right-hand side, but sometimes it makes things worse. And then you need to know, if I go to paragraph, Adobe Paragraph Composer is what's on, but if I turn it to Adobe Single Line Composer, you'll see that that word is no longer on the end of the line. This is breaking slightly different. So sometimes you need to turn off the paragraph composer function and just use the single line function. And most people don't know about that either. So.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. All right. So, and now I will stop my share. Oh, okay. Yes, so I don't quite know how I got where I just got. But so Brody, do you want to show? And what's happened to Brody? Did he fall off the system? Ay. Okay. All right. Well, while he's disappeared until he shows up again, let me go back to here. So we're talking about this once upon a time, and then I get distracted. So we tend to make, well, let's see, there's some things built into the system that used to be sort of the easiest way to create hierarchy. Here we have some copy. We have a name, we have a company, we have a date and a time, and then we have a block of copy that's description of the program. And the problem is I've actually kind of thrown, there's one way to do this, which is the way I was showing, but I'm going to actually just see if I can't copy this. Command copy. Let's see what happens. You share. InDesign. Share. Just a second, I got a lot of Zoom things in my way. Okay, text. So, some standard text. Hopefully this all will work. So, this would be the smallest type on the page, right? Because that's the description information. This is, so we're going to assume that this is the most important. This is the second most important. That's the third most important. And then this is the sort of semi least important. And if we, option G, come on. And that would be another level less important. So if we look at our number, our font number 12 here. So that's our body copy size. And these numbers are already built in here. Okay, these are the numbers that they give you, the standard. If I go to here and I just kick this up to 14, and I take that and I kick that up to the next number, which is 18, and I take this and kick that up to 24, then that's actually a fairly reasonable hierarchy. Okay, and I could even take that and go one down. I'm going to go two down. And we might want to change some of the spacing in here. So maybe that goes like that, and that goes like that. But we have a decent hierarchy, and it's already built into the numbering system that they use. And these are the traditional sizes that metal type used to come in. And so you have, several hundred years worth of playing around with type and coming up with a set of numbers or a set of sizes that were relatively usable and relatively good hierarchy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can go and you can actually go and say, so that's 24, that's not quite good enough. Maybe you really want that to be 30. That's the next size, but that's all reasonable. And then you could even go and then simply change this. Oh, right. Hang on a second. Minion variable concept. If you want more change between these, you can use italic. You can make that bold, and then you can take the hierarchy and make it even stronger like that. And that's interesting that they don't have a copyright mark in that font. And maybe that one also goes italic. So, what this other presentation goes into is that if you don't like the particular hierarchy that they have in here, you can actually create your own. So for instance, you can use the number, there's a number that's been used throughout history called the golden ratio, which is 1.618. It's it creates the spiral in the Nautilus shell, and it was used in antiquity for doing things like designing the Parthenon, where this is a rectangle and this would be 1 unit across there, or 1 unit across there, and then this is 1.618 times that size. And if you did that, you can set up your own geometric progression where, say, you start off with 10-point type, and the next step would be 16, and the next step would be 26, and the next step is 42. And this is the sort of thing that would be useful when you have, say, a publication, some project that's big enough that's worth the time to go through and come up with a consistent hierarchy. And so 10, 16, 26, and 42. So this ratio is a much more aggressive ratio than the one just using the numbers in your computer programs. But you don't, and you know, play around with it. This is the ratio you get from the golden ratio. This is a ratio you get if you use 1.8. This is a ratio if you use 1.3. And so you can have more and less aggressive ratios. And, you know, it's another way, just another way of dealing with your designs. So, and then here's an example using the 1.3 ratio consistently per number of entries. So does that make sense? Sort of. Yes, no, maybe. You fell asleep.
No, that's why we're here.
Okay. Well, anyway, so you could take, for instance, a poster, figure out how big your headline is, figure out how big you want your body copy, and then you could set up a ratio to you know, you could figure out how many steps you want. But again, this is, you know, most people don't spend the time or effort to do that sort of thing. They just kind of wing it. But it's also possible to do it in a more consistent manner. And if you do, I think you get a little bit more pleasing look to it. And the question is whether it's worth the time and effort. If you're doing something like a, you know, a huge website, then it might be very useful to set up a set of ratios like this. You know, or you know, you set up a set of style sheets that automatically give you these sizes. You know, and then you could apply it relatively quickly and easily. So here's a version of the Design Culture Now poster that I did that uses the 1.3 ratio. And some of this, I didn't use all the steps, but, you know, I think that looks kind of nice. So. Anyway. And honestly, this is a sort of thing that nobody actually even talked about when I was doing my master's program. This is just stuff that I've found online lately, and then have been experimenting with a little bit. but it's, you know, the way design, I don't know, used to be done. So. Okay. Well, let's see. Other questions?
No questions.
Okay. You now know everything.
No, I don't.
Okay. So we lost Brody completely, and I have no idea where he's gone to. Unless he wants to speak up right now and tell me that he's come back, but I don't see him. So I'm going to call that class for tonight. So if there's some last minute adjustments you want to make to your type book design, I'm going to change the deadline to tonight so you can make some changes.
Thank you.
And then the poster will be due for next class.
Oh, Professor, about the poster,
Yep.
can you let us post? Because like yesterday I was checking and I wasn't able to submit my assignment. Yeah.
To the final poster.
Mm-hmm.
That is quite possible.
Oh,
So
it is
I
now?
will, let's see.
Because I was trying to submit, but yeah, it's still, I cannot submit.
Yeah, okay. So you will watch me as we fix this. Go to modules. Go to the bottom. Right. I think. Yeah, I actually need to create. It'll take me a little longer. Oh, there's Brody. So thank you for asking that question, or I was about to end that end the class, but now Brody's back.
Professor, this poster assignment, we just need to submit the PSD file or submit a package.
Packaged Illustrator or InDesign file with a PDF
yeah. Okay.
that
Got
shows drops and bleeds. And so let's. Okay. Save. Okay, I've got to get an actual assignment up there, and I will fix that right after class. So. Okay. Brody, are you there? Brody, we can't hear you. Hmm. So let me see. Let's see.
Can you hear me, Professor?
Now we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. My computer's chugging super duper slow and my Wi-Fi is cutting out at me all at the same time.
Yeah. Can you share, or can you email me and I could share?
Yeah, I can try sharing. It's actually running a lot smoother right now.
Okay. So let me stop my share. Your
Okay.
turn.
Thank you. Hopefully this works.
We were wondering what happened to you.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself. Let's see, are you seeing that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Nope.
Nothing's showing up.
Can you email me?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. It's starting.
Oh, it's going now?
Now it's doing.
Can you see it now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh my gosh.
There. Now we can see it.
All right.
It controls chaos.
Yeah, a little bit anticlimactic for the wait that we just went through.
Exactly.
But yeah, there it is.
Okay.
So yeah, kind of goes off that idea that you were mentioning, how you want to see some control and some chaos.
Okay.
But I think I could still probably dial it up a couple notches.
All right. Okay.
So, yep. Coming
All
soon.
right.
Right.
So I think that's a class for the day. Brody, we went over a bunch of let's call it super user kind of tips. So you might want to look at the video about that.
Definitely, yeah, I'll check that out. I pretty much missed most of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But thanks for waiting for me.
Sure. We had some questions. I gave some answers, and anyway, okay. So as I said, also I'll change the deadline for the type book to tonight. So if there's some final last minute updates you want to make, you can do that.
Cool. All right.
And the poster, I've got to get up an actual poster submission assignment. So I'll do that after class is over. Okay,
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor.
all right. So have a good evening and
Thank
good
you, Professor.
weekend.
You too. Have a good
And
night.
see you next week.
Thank you, Professor. Bye.
Yeah,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.